Okay.
Let me get some water too real quick.
Got some juice in your hair?
Yeah.
Nice. You like one of those
Juice and
R&B
berries.
artists. Ready?
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. All right, guys. Welcome to the Media Hijacked podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus.
What's up, fam? What's good, universe? How y'all doing?
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijacked. Before we get started, if you guys want to buy some official Media Hijacked t-shirts, head to the MediaHijacked.com, grab your shirt, tag us. I want to see you guys wearing it. There's a few people that sent some pictures of them wearing it. It's cool, man.
Appreciate
I just
it.
want to get a handful, so then I can post it all at one time.
Hell yeah.
Also, if you guys want to go to our Reddit, be a member, go over there, share some information, topics, and we'll look it over and see if we want to discuss it or not discuss it. Because today we're actually doing a topic by Shell Shock, one of the loyal followers.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Doing one of his topics for today. And yeah, also, if you guys want to watch the replay for the Twitch video, head to our YouTube page. I'll leave all the links down. And also, don't forget to rate and subscribe, guys.
Please.
Give us 5, 6, 7 stars.
Hell yeah.
Don't give us 4 or 1.
Please
leave
don't
a-
give us a one.
Yeah, leave us a nice little comment. And cool. It only takes like 5 seconds, guys. Awesome. All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about Dyatlov Pass mystery. That's how you say it, right?
Dyatlov.
Dyatlov Pass incident.
All right, there's going to be a lot of names I'm going to butcher in this too, and I apologize for those who are no longer here with us, but ooh, these names are going to be rough.
It's going to be real rough. So this is about a mystery out in Russia where they had a group of hikers, went up to the mountains, professional hikers, and then out of nowhere, they all mysteriously died all on the same day. Very mysterious, like it didn't seem like anything was wrong. They just suddenly just died. And the way they died was weird too. It's like they had no shoes on. They're running around with socks. And this happened in the mountain where it's super cold, like negative 30 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was just weird how they all left their tent, and it's like they're running from something, but nobody has an idea of what they're running from.
Yeah, so when they do the investigation on all this other stuff, they find some weird shit where, to this day, even though they say they finally found answers to what happened, most people aren't really buying answers, which not even I am. I'm not really started looking, like reading some stuff about it. It's like, what y'all trying to say what happened ain't adding up to that shit they found. So stuff that not even today people can still explain. So
Yeah, there's a lot of theories though about it.
hell yeah.
But the most obvious theory is they got abducted by aliens.
That's one of the bigger ones. Yes.
That's the most obvious. That's like my go-to.
It's
I'm not even thinking about nothing logical. I'm like, man, aliens, dude.
See, mine is not that.
Or Jesus.
My theory is different. I'm not with the aliens on this one.
What, a polar bear?
Fucking Yeti. That was mine.
No,
that
but
was
it didn't leave no
mine.
footprints though.
Because he knows how to clean up after his tracks.
Or he can levitate.
A flying Yeti.
It's about to turn into a shit show, guys.
Like, and we're not even drinking. This is about to get crazy.
All right, let's get started. All right, guys, you're about to hear like one of the most incredible, bone-chilling stories, unsolved mysteries. Actually, it's an okay story.
Yeah, but so you hyping it up way too much.
Bone-chilling, man. Chilling, literally. It's
All right.
ice cold.
All right, so should I stop reading everybody's names? Should I? It's gonna be butchered, but all right.
Could I start it?
Oh, yeah, run this shit.
I'll
Run
start
it.
it. Let's do a little story time.
All right, let's go.
All right, guys.
Story music.
So, a Russian mystery over 50 years ago about a group of hikers, January 1959, set out on an expedition to the northern mountains in Siberia in negative 39 degrees weather. 9 hikers, 7 men, 2 women, never to be returned again. I'm done.
That was it. I was trying to sit back and relax, man. Just, okay.
I was setting it up for you, man.
Setting the stage.
So 9 hikers,
9 hikers,
7 men,
2 women.
2 women, all died.
Yes. The 2 women are Lyudmila Dobianina and Zendaya Zenadia. Kolmogorov.
Chris.
These names are hard to pronounce.
Just make it up.
All right, let's run it. But yeah,
Todd and Rod or something.
all right. So the rest of like other guy names are because you got Yuri, Igor, Alexander. These last names are insane, so I'm gonna just ignore it.
It's Russia. Russian names.
Another dude named Yuri, Rustem, Nikolai, Semyon, and another Yuri. Damn, that name must have been popping back then. Everybody know a group named Yuri. But yeah, so that's like the people's names in the group, and then that's it. So all right, so January 3rd, 1959, 23-year-old ski hiker named Igor Alec. We'll just leave that. Dyatlov embarked on a journey to reach the peak of Ural Mountain in northern Urals, right?
Right.
So coincidentally, so apparently too, this is like a thing that I heard on a podcast too. They mentioned this guy, the guy who was basically involved in the whole Chernobyl disaster. Well, one of the main guys. His name is his last name was also Dyatlov, and they were trying to like basically talking about like how this is all connected type shit. Because when you start hearing more about the story and what they started finding on people's bodies, another conspiracy is like, hey, the guy who started this journey go up to the mountains, he shares the same last name as the whole 1986 disaster Chernobyl.
Yeah.
That deals with radiation. What the fuck is going on? But a lot of people trying to draw like.
So Dyatlov, that's the name of somebody?
Yeah. That's yeah. Just like
so they named the mountain pass after a person.
After the person that's the guy who led the group up there. That's what I'm assuming.
Because here's like another story. Like there was actually supposed to be 10 hikers, and one hiker got sick, so he stayed behind.
Shit.
And his name was actually Yuri. That's the hiker that stayed behind. He was the only survivor. He was the last one that saw all the hikers when they were still alive.
Oh.
Because he had his own story too. Because there's this author that was writing a book called Dead Mountain, and he actually got an interview with the guy in Russia.
Yuri Yudin, isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. So his name in this picture right there is an asterisk next to it. So that's why he wasn't there.
Yeah, he's still alive. He didn't get ate up by nothing.
Okay, so
he survived, and he was able to tell the story.
He got lucky, man. Some days
he bitched out, man.
You think he faked it?
No. He
really
really
was sick. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But he got like survivor's guilt and shit.
I would be too, because you got to think about like, man, if I was there, maybe things might have been different.
Right.
But he would have been just body number 10. I mean, it's how he would have prevented it, I don't know. I get the feeling, but shit like that. You mean
God was like, do not take that path. Your stomach hurts.
It's like, I'm giving you the flu. You got the shit. You're not going. You're
right. Like if you guys ever like plan anything and then like last minute you feel uneasy, like you start feeling sick, like don't take that as a sign of weakness. Just fucking go home.
Go with it.
And then you can be like, oh, you're a bitch. You made that shit up. And you're like, nah, dude.
I'm really supposed to go.
My body really telling me I gotta go.
I had the bubble.
And then everybody that went on the plane all died.
It's like some Final Destination shit.
And then you're at home sitting this. Oh God! Shit. Final Destination, real life.
All right, so Igor, the Soviet college student, brought a team of 8 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, right? Along with him they basically brought him. He brought his friends with him on an adventure. Before he left, Dyatlov had told his sports club that he and his team would send them a telegram as soon as they returned. Oh, that should never happen. On February 2nd, the group set up a camp on the slopes of the now named Dyatlov Pass. During the night, something forced the members of the group to tear out the tents and fleeing into the Dyatlov Pass.
Okay, see, here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
That were confusing the investigators. The hikers, they had to cut from the inside to escape the tent. So like whatever happened, I think it happened from inside the tent where they were trying to escape, or the hikers, when they're inside, they're both going to the opposite direction, and then, they couldn't wait for this hikers to get out, so they cut the hole so they can escape.
See, I was thinking it's like something was trying to get inside the tent, and whatever it was making its way into it. Yeah, from the front, you're like, fuck this, we got.
Yeah, that's another one.
Let's get out.
Or they were both trying to get out at the same time because something was inside.
Do you think like some of the survivors went out one way, then the other group went? Yeah, because they do find like.
But it do make more sense with something trying to come from the front door.
That's what I was thinking. That was my theory. It's like, okay, they trying to get the fuck out of like something's getting in. Oh shit, that's only exit out, entrance and exit. I'm making my own.
Or here's another theory:
Right.
avalanche. They got fucking blocked in, and so they had to cut out the back.
Now I did think of that when I started reading about the avalanche story, because I was trying, even with the avalanche story, which is what they're saying was the main cause of all this. That's why I was thinking too. Like, okay, maybe they got stuck in a position where exits completely blocked by snow or whatever. They had to cut their way out. Now, how everything else that unfolds after that, because maybe the avalanche did happen, but some other shit happened too. Because both things can be true. Because this seems like what they're trying to go with right now is like it was just avalanche and that was it. That's what a lot of investigators are trying to claim. I'm like, what if both things happen, like avalanche and the Yeti? I'm sure avalanche and UFOs. If both things happen, who knows?
Or they came across like a secret location where the Soviet missiles and stuff, because there was a Soviet missile launching site nearby. Mm-hmm. And the other conspiracy is that they stumble across like a secret base location where they're not supposed to be, and they got killed by like the Soviet soldiers.
It was like they crossed into like their Area 51 type shit. Like, what are you doing here?
That's another story. Because I mean, the weird thing about this is like all the bodies were miles away from the tent.
Yeah, there wasn't like nobody was like within 10. Like, it wasn't like 10 feet away. They were like out there. Like they went on like on a journey.
Yeah, like they were all like scattered. And then another weird thing is that, you know, it was negative 39 degrees weather.
Yeah.
So you running outside without your shoes, that's another weird thing. They all have just socks on while they're running.
I'll explain a theory about what may have happened with that too. There's like I got some theories like this article I was reading. They talk about like all the main theories of like how these people ended up with clothes. How did some of these people who didn't have their clothes? Why did the other people in the other group have their clothes wrapped around them and shit like that? Like, so they got like, so I'm gonna get into all that.
And one of the ladies got her tongue cut off.
Yes.
Spoiler.
So we'll get into all that. We're jumping ahead. All right. So the Ural Mountains, or the Urals, are a mountain range that runs from north to south through western Russia, from coast of the Arctic Ocean to the Ural River of northwestern Kazakhstan. The mountain range forms part of the conventional boundary between the continents Europe and Asia. The mountains are rich in resources, and they got all these types of shit up there too. So it's like it sounds like a little mining area at one time. So because it got like semi-precious stones as like in the mountains, that people probably be mining in that area. Mainly probably doing like summertime or whatever, because you ain't gonna be doing it in the winter if it's gonna be snow up there.
Like crystals they can sell?
Oh yeah, there's like metal ores and like precious and semi-precious stones that people probably be going up there just mining shit.
Like ergot and stuff?
Probably take it back, sell it. Yeah, but it says like since the 18th century, the mountains have always contributed significantly to the mineral sector of the Russian economy. So basically, the climate says the climate of the Ural continental, the average in January temperatures increase in the western areas from negative 20 degrees Celsius or negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the polars to negative 15 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Fahrenheit in the southern Urals. And basically, like, talking about the temperatures like during the summertime, or like anywhere with like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or which is 10 degrees Celsius, or 68 degrees Fahrenheit to up to 20 degrees Celsius. So still like there's summer times up there ain't like
still cold.
To me, that's not no fucking that ain't summer weather. That's like maybe spring. That's what we're going through right now. So okay, so this is the whole timeline right now. The entire timeline breakdown of how the investigators, they went through it and they had to break it down to like, okay, this is where they started, this is where they ended, this is the days, times, everything. So this is gonna be on February 1st, 1959, right? The team began to make their way through the unnamed pass leading to Ortran. As they made their way towards the base of the mountain, a huge snowstorm and high winds hit the group of friends. Visibility issues caused the team to lose their sense of direction, and instead moving them toward Ortoran.
Wait, so they took a detour or something because of the storm?
Well, here's my thing though. That was the thing that was that bothered me when I was reading this before. If they're a team of expert hikers, maybe they're not as big. I mean, either if you're planning a trip like hiking, you would check the weather in advance. I don't give a fuck who you are. This is not even like an expert doesn't even need to even know that. It's like, you plan to do some outdoorsy stuff, what's the weather gonna be like that day? So why would they plan that trip on a hike when a snowstorm hits them? You know what I'm saying?
I think they already knew, like, they were already prepared for the worst. Mm-hmm. And you gotta still think it's 1959, so how...
Yeah.
I mean, they are experts. They are young too, though. They're like
Yeah.
in their mid-20s. I think the oldest person was maybe 34 or something. So they were like young kids, but they knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't like newbies
Yeah.
in mountain climbing. You know what's weird about humans, man,
What's that?
that I don't understand? It's like when they get so comfortable, they end up
Fucking up.
doing shit to put their lives in danger just for the excitement because
Yeah.
they're so comfortable with living.
Yeah, it's like, damn, I'm bored. I want to like, I don't feel alive until like my shit's in
So you
danger.
feel like you're about to die. So they climb these mountains that you humans not supposed to be climbing for fun. It's supposed to be, if it was like a survival thing, it makes sense. But this is just for kicks.
This is for hee hee ha ha. We're gonna tell our friends about it when we get back.
Yeah, but it's actually a thing. Like people do mountain climbing. It's like a thrill.
It's like, damn, I'm bored. I'm gonna climb Mount Everest.
And then I'm gonna jump off with a parachute.
You ever seen like videos of, like people trying to climb Mount Everest and shit? Scary as fuck. It's like
The GoPros.
GoPros and like oxygen tanks and shit. I'm like, what? That shit sounds fucking miserable.
You have to take a shit on the side of the mountain.
Just like just drop it off.
I couldn't do it.
Man, no.
I like the ground.
Man,
I like to be grounded.
me too, man. But some people just have it in them, just like that. Just gotta explore and shit. I get on Discovery Channel if I want to. Like, damn, I want to go outdoors. Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watch National Geographic on Disney Plus. So I mean, that's just me.
Then when you think about it, like what is life all about? Is it just to be safe and then die, or do like whatever?
I mean, because if that was the case, I mean, humanity would never expand it outward and discover new things, and
So
maybe
we need
when-
that.
Yeah, so somebody's got to do it. It ain't gonna be me, but
We need to explore it like that. So
we do. But we do it with like via podcast. We do it through the airwaves. Just,
I mean, now it's possible because of the internet. We can just watch other people explore, but then we're not really living it. So then when we die,
let somebody else do it.
then they're showing us like our life movie. It's like, hey, we're actually watching somebody else's life movie.
Like, this is not ain't got nothing to do with us.
Like your highlights is like us watching YouTube. I was like, oh God.
I am who I am. I can't change.
Like, what about that one time? No.
No.
That other time? Nope. I did jump out a plane. Nope. That's not you.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. But that's why, at least that's why I kind of like. Yeah, it's expansion and stuff like that. I mean, because how we would discover like herbs and shit if humanity just stayed in like one spot and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we won't discover like nothing new, no new plants, no new animals.
Yeah, and not to mention this is 59. It's not like, well, people still doing that shit to this day though. But trying to like do dangerous trips and shit. So
Speaking of new animals, Antarctica, they dug in so deep, right? Into like a location where all scientists all said, hey, nothing lived down here. It's too deep, dark, nothing can survive. They put a camera all the way down, miles deep, and they saw like a creatures like floating up, and they're all shocked. They're like, holy shit, there's
was it?
actually living creatures.
what was it?
It looks like some type of shrimp character.
Like it looks like a shrimp.
It looks like a shrimp, but it's not a shrimp. It's a new species that they discovered in Antarctica. So that tells them that if something's able to survive all the way down
And it's
deep,
just what else is out there?
yeah, there's a whole nother world down there.
Because for all we know, they could have just discovered like whatever species that lives out there. They probably just discovered what they eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like that casual meal they usually eat.
It's
But
like you see the one cockroach, but you haven't seen the whole
if
family
you haven't
yet.
seen the whole crew yet, not yet.
Yeah. So I'm thinking there's a whole nother ecosystem out there
I suppose,
that's
yeah.
actually able to have life. Because down there, like they're so deep, maybe it's not even like in an area where it's completely dark.
Yeah.
But they have their own like sunlight, own everything.
Yeah.
Let's say it's like the Earth like flipped upside down, and they have like their own green lush forest.
I was thinking about when you say upside down. I'm like, well,
Power Rangers.
It's flipped. You whoop
Yeah.
like a snow globe.
It's like you go down, right? But then you come back up. Bloop. On the other side, you're actually opposite.
So you mean like Australia? You describing
Yeah,
Australia?
yeah. Like that. But go ahead, my bad.
Good. Okay, so they're saying like so we like going back before, team is going up there, hiking, having fun. Let's go, Yuri, and then boom, get hit by a snowstorm.
Yuri wasn't there.
And well, there's 3 Yuris in the group. The third one, he's the one that got sick.
When they're finding him.
There's 2 other Yuris. There's 2 other Yuris in the group too.
Oh.
That's why I said that name. Like that's why I said earlier that name that must have been like popping back then because that shit is Everybody's named Yuri. So anyway, so it's like, hey, let's go Igor and Yuri and shit. Get hit by a storm. And somehow whatever trail they did was supposed to be taking a path, they weren't on that path. That a storm hit them and made them go off in another direction. And also too, there's actually some irony with this mountain that they ended up at because the name of the mountain is Kayolat Sayak Hill, which means dead mountain, and indigenous Mansi. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, there is an indigenous people that live in the area of that mountain, but like, I don't know if they live on the other side of it. But it seems like they have a village on like right on the edge of the coast of where it's at. So like they live like there's like the mountain, there's like a village, and there's like nothing but like I see a body of water right after that. They call like the Mansi, I think they are. They were like considered suspects too, but they're like really peaceful. They don't fuck with nobody, but they were considered suspects too on like how what happened to these people. But that was like.
But the area that they live is not that cold like that. Like it's on the bottom of the mountain.
What do you mean?
Like the area that they live. Like they didn't really live on the mountain, did they?
The Mansi, they live and travel up through that shit. But that's like you gotta think like if that's where they know to live, they like if you look at them, like if you look at their facial features, at first I was like, are they Asian? But they kind of like I don't know what's the PC term for it, but basically like
Mongolians.
I was thinking that too, but I guess like
Eskimos.
there you go. They kind of look like that, but like lighter in skin.
White Eskimos.
Like in like Alaskan Eskimos, if you think about Eskimos type shit. Cause also, too, if you look at the map, I had to look it up yesterday. If you see like Alaska and Russia, they're like only like a couple miles. Like I don't know how true this is, but it's supposed to be like maybe 5 miles apart from the Bering Strait or 3 miles. Like Alaska and Russia at their tips, they can see each other from there. Like, oh shit, that's Alaska, that's Russia. So I'm like, okay, maybe at some time they crossed over. Boom. Maybe some Eskimos from Alaska crossed over, but they kind of have like the same features and they live the same kind of style. Like they like.
Is their hair red?
No, they got like black hair.
Interesting.
But it's basically like it's like one of them things like they can survive in the area because they've been there for generations. But normies like us, we would fucking die up there. But just like how they
not me, I'll bring my blanket.
Just like if you took them and if you would your blankie, that's like if you would take them and you would bring them to like fucking New York, they probably get hit by a fucking Uber or some shit because they don't know, they wouldn't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like up there, they kind of like they know what's up, man. They would be able to survive probably better than most Russians in that area. So, but they would consider suspects too, and they seem to be pretty peaceful people. They just mind their own business. So they was like just considered that. Okay, so it says to avoid losing altitude they had gained, Dyatlov called for the camp to be made there before the ascent up the Orient. So this is why now they're building a camp. Boom, getting everything all set up because
they're building a camp and they're about to sleep.
This is when the shit's the fan. This is that night. Cause this ain't like no, it drags out for days and this happens like, hey, day one, dead. So I was like, okay, so now it's February 20th, 1959. Now this is what was supposed to happen. The group was supposed to radio when they were back by this time. With no communication, a search party was formed to look for the missing students. The volunteers hiked through the pass and found the campsite, but the group was nowhere to be found.
But they did see like the tent, right?
That's what I'm saying. They came across the tent. Like there's even a photo like tent, boom, nothing.
Yeah. So they saw the tent and then they said, "Hey, where's the people?
Where's the bodies? We got the bodies."
Because they did get excited when they saw the tent. They were like, "Okay, these guys are gonna come out, say peekaboo, surprise." But that didn't happen.
It's like, oh shit, there's nobody home. Yeah, so search party looked for Miss Team. Okay, so it's like the volunteer teams quickly dispatched the army and police investigators to determine what had happened to the missing students. Though the students were experienced hikers, the route they chose mixed with the time elapsed and the conditions of the campsite left investigators feeling like this would be a recovery mission, not a rescue. So they went in thinking like, yo, we just trying to find them.
Because they knew they were dead. They're like,
so you thinking that there was like, okay, that these kids didn't make it.
They arrived at a funeral, pretty much. I'd be like, cool, like, let's wrap this up, guys. Collect the bodies. Let's head back to the house.
As the investigators did recover the bodies, but the state they were in truly baffled the search team. So now we're going to flash forward to around February 26th because this is when they start finding the bodies. It's like, I think it's like 26 days later. They didn't find the bodies till like
Oh yeah.
almost a month after the fact the shit went down. So I don't know.
Was
if,
it because there was so much snow?
Yeah, I think it might be so much snow. Maybe like they may have been like they probably. That's how I was wondering. Like, did they send people up there? Maybe if it was an avalanche, were the bodies covered up at first, and after 26 days, did it melt a little bit? Snow just melted away, and then that's when they was able to find the bodies. But it's like they didn't find them until like almost a month later. So
I mean, it does make sense because it is extreme weather. So I would imagine it being very difficult to even have a search crew out there searching every day. Because I mean, the people that's doing the searching, they aren't mountain climbers. They're not even able. They're not built to do the shit those kids were doing.
yeah, and not to mention like why would you risk your search party for some kids? Like you just added more bodies to
Right. So
So
it makes sense that they took so long.
I mean, I would imagine like the family members of these kids and shit probably be like, no, just go out there and look for them. But they're like, look, we go out there, we're gonna die, so we ain't doing nobody any good. Just chill. We gotta wait for this snow to like recede a little bit because. Especially up there, if they got hit with a snowstorm and you just walk around on that mountain and you just like just sink through the snow, then you fucked. So
Yeah.
just chill. Like we gotta wait.
Because I'll be like, if I was the captain, I'd be like, whatever killed them is still out there.
Oh, it's waiting for us.
Just scare everybody. It's like, hey, whatever happened, they're still out there.
Why?
Whoever killed them. So, slow your roll.
It's gonna eat us too. What you want? What you want? All right, so investigators were on scene at the campsite. Our investigators were on scene at the campsite. Strangely, the team immediately noticed the tents at the site were cut open from the inside, and most of the team, most of the items, like they found like a lot of like items belonging to the hiker group was still there. Like they left like all types of shit behind.
Yeah, the items they found, which was weird, it was all untouched items. Even the shoes, they're arranged
Shoes, boots, all that shit.
all perfectly. The shoes all arranged perfectly. Like nothing was disturbed. So that's what made it weird. Like if it was like an animal that chased them out, the animal would have fucking wrecked the whole tent, fucked up everything.
Yo, what if it was like a death cult? You know what I'm saying? Because like I didn't realize I forgot about the part where the shoes are organized. Like what it was like, all right, guys, let's sacrifice ourselves to like
But here's
gods.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Yeti
thing.
god.
Like with that, if it was like other people that killed them, they didn't leave no traces behind, no footprint, no nothing. The only footprints they found were the footprints of the hikers.
Yeah, they found nothing else. Yeah,
So unless if it was a cult, it must have been a cult that knows how to levitate.
maybe.
That's
That's the only thing we can get.
that's the only thing
we
I
got.
can.
Unless the UFO showed up and it was like they never touched the ground.
whoop, whoop,
They just
aliens come down, fucking levitating.
goddamn UFOs. Okay.
Bad aliens, man. They should not be killing people like
I
that.
think there's some good ones out there. It's like
Yeah,
humans.
there is.
It's like humans. It's good humans, bad humans.
You know how many fun fact? You know how many different races of aliens, and how do I know this?
How you know this first? Okay, you know what? Just tell me.
Man, I heard it on a radio station. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Because they asked the dude, they asked him how many races of aliens, and it's like, I could take all day explaining this, but there's over 59 different species of aliens living on this earth right now.
Oh, these are about in space. Oh my god.
No,
These are about in space.
living on this earth right now. Different type of aliens, like walking around. A lot of them look like us, normal people walking around, but actually they carry like alien DNA. I mean, of course, it's hard to take this face value.
Well,
but
I was thinking about a dude from last week we talked about. That's what I was thinking of.
Who?
I want to say his name's Cody. Who we talked about last week?
Kyle.
Kyle. There you go. Yeah.
Kyle.
I was thinking about him just now. My brain was yeah, he's trying to call that shit out.
Let's get to the chat real quick.
Let's hop to it.
Shell Shock says, did you forget about the land bridge way back in the day? Nope, he sure didn't, because you caught yourself.
What?
With the land bridge that was connected Alaska to Russia.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Robert in the house. Robert saying some random stuff. He says, you want a 4-leaf clover? Yeah, sure. Tenendo says, need details of the dead bodies. I would have to grab my shoes and ran.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into details of dead bodies, where they're at, because you're gonna find out how they was found. The group base. Okay, so what they're gonna want to find out too is like the party base. Like there was almost like split down the middle. One group ran one way, another group ran the other way, and then how one group ended up is different from like how another group ended up.
And this happened at night, by the way. They were sleeping.
Yes, when the shit hit the fan. So this is in the middle of a fucking storm, and they ran out there like whatever happened.
Yep.
It's weird, man. That's why I stay my ass home, man. It's shit like this, man. It shouldn't be happening in my crib. Watch, there's gonna be a bullet that come through my window, hit me in the fucking leg tonight. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, so upon continued investigation, Upon continuing the investigation, they were able to make out 9 sets of footprints, some clearly barefoot, which is fucking insane, or in only socks, some with one shoe on. So
he was trying to run. He was trying to put his shoes on.
He was hobbling like just one shoe on, and
so he knew he had to get the fuck out of there.
He's like,
but he was trying to protect his toes.
Got up out of there. He's like, she's like, fuck this, I'm gonna just run.
Damn, I wonder what it is.
That shit's scary, man. If you like think about it, like it's like a snowstorm during the damn daytime is rough, but imagine at night you kind of like.
That's the scariest thing ever.
I would assume that they may be somewhat familiar with the area, but not to the point where at night they know where they're going. Snowstorm, so they're just running out there panicking. Ain't no telling where the hell they going.
Right. Because it's 1959, so maybe they didn't really have flashlights. They just had like
lanterns,
oil lanterns.
Oil lanterns. Oh, maybe did they have flashlights back then? Somebody look that up for me, please.
Intrigue 90 he says it's very interesting. So many theories. Listening from Utah. Hey, what's good, Utah?
Shout out.
Hey, don't Utah got like the best snow resorts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Thunder Hill says don't call Eskimos. Eskimos, they prefer Inuits.
Inuits. I'm sorry. That's you. That's the name I couldn't think of earlier. I didn't want to say Eskimos, but
that's the native name, Chris.
I was sitting on it. It was sitting in my brain for too long. I was like, I got to keep the show moving. I apologize. That's
Inuit,
not
guys.
Inuits.
Write it down.
Yes. But that's the Manis. I think they're Inuits. That's what I think they are. Just just off the features and all that.
What are you, Inuit? Yes.
Now you make it sound ignorant. Why you gotta say it like that?
No. It's proper, man.
Okay, it says so one guy was found with like just looking at the footprints, like, hey, one dude clearly had one shoe on and was barefoot with the other one.
That's cute.
So it says all headed towards a wooded area about a mile away from the camp. Strangely, based off the depth of the prints, it was noted that they seemingly left camp in an orderly fashion. Now, that's the weird thing at first. When they was leaving at first, because I was always like, did they all escape at the same time? But they all left like, hey, like, let's go off with each other, hold my hand, like, everybody grab each other's hand. That's what they went into like a formation going off somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's why I was earlier, I was like, death cult. But
here's another theory. You know how they say when you get like really cold, super cold,
yes,
like you start kind of hallucinating?
Mm-hmm.
You think like part of the group were hallucinating and then they just all went out the gate?
Could be. There's another theory too on like why, like I said, it's gonna go to like why some people were clothed and other people were like, unclothed. I was gonna get into it. It has something to do with like hypothermia. And it was actually pretty interesting because I've heard stories about this happening before too when hypothermia starts setting in. Something happens with your brain where you think your body's overheating, when in reality you're actually freezing to death. And you start taking off articles of your clothes and all that. Mm. And eventually it's like, no, you're killing yourself faster that way. Even though you feel like you're burning up inside and you're sweating, don't do that shit because it's like something's messing around in your brain now to the point where like, so basically,
should I really take this advice? Like,
this is legit shit because like I don't know if anybody remembers this story. There was a girl a couple years ago. I can't remember what state it was. This black, something just black. She was like 19 or whatever. They found her like she was like missing throughout this hotel. This is basically like the black version of the Elisa Lam shit. This is like the black version. They caught on camera walking through a hotel, all like
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they found her in a deep freezer in the kitchen. But they found her like clothes missing and all that. But they wound up explaining like, well, because that was the electricity. The electricity was on in the renovated side of that hotel. She somehow accidentally got herself locked into the deep freezer. Articles of her clothes were missing. Hypothermia probably set in while she was in there freezing to death. And she starts taking off her clothes thinking she's hot. But in reality, she's actually freezing to death. So that's what they want to explain to, like a theory of why some of the clothes might be missing too for some of these people.
Okay.
So, but that's the first time I heard about it. I heard about that of taking off articles of clothing is because of that story with the black chick. So they, like I said, they all left in orderly fashion, not running and wild, single file and calm. At the forest edge, under a large tree, the investigators found the remains of a small fire and the first 2 bodies. They found both Yuris. One was like both Yuris. One's 23, and the other one is 21. Despite the temperatures being, for real. Despite the temperatures being negative 13 to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit on the night of their deaths, both men's bodies were found shoeless and wearing only underwear. It was noted that the branches on the trees were broken or scarred off as someone tried to climb up to 6 feet high. So
it's like something was chasing them.
that. Yeah, what the fuck were they trying to climb up 6 feet?
Like a bear or something.
Or a Yeti. I think a Yeti would be way taller than 6 feet though. If he out there.
Abominable snowman. Is that the same as the Yeti?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a fucking Yeti.
Oh, I think they call him I think over there they call like a mint, like a MENT. Like a mint.
Minty?
Like a mint. It's just mint. I think that's how they call it. I think that's what it's called, a Yeti in that area or some shit, but yeah.
Yeah, abominable snowman.
But like,
maybe it was abominable snowman that fucking just went into like a reality.
And then when he jacked their clothes and just like just dipped, like
I think he just scared them all the way up to the tree. And then I think the reason why they didn't find like their footprints, he covered it all up, or the snow just covered up.
That's what I was saying. Like it had to be like a Yeti or something, because if it'd be like an expert, to be like, that's why the Monty's probably like, yo, we don't go out there at night, because if anybody would know what happened, it would probably be the locals. Like, yo, we know what lives up there. That's why we go at certain times of the year, or whatever. Man, if they talk to us, we would have told him not to go, because that's when he comes out. Like, he cleans up all his evidence, like cleans up all his tracks.
Because he's actually really smart.
He knows the area. Yeah, he's been doing it for centuries. He's been covering up all this shit.
You know what they're saying about Bigfoot now?
What's that?
Like he's an interdimensional time traveler.
Yeah, I remember heard about that a while ago.
Because they're saying like, how come like we can't find a big ass animal like that? How?
He's a glitch, man. It's like a glitch. He's a fucking glitch in the universe. He just pops in and out.
There's actually one video on YouTube, I think it's probably like the best fucking Bigfoot video ever seen, where this guy is recording. Everything's like in fucking 4K. And if you look at the tree real closely, you'll see a fucking Bigfoot sleeping next to the tree, like breathing. Not even realizing.
Chest going up and down and shit?
Yeah, like right next to a big ass tree. And it's just fucking like standing up right next to it, like breathing, sleeping.
He probably fell asleep in his world and it ended up in our world. Didn't realize he ended up here.
It's one of the best footage I ever seen.
Like, wake up, man. Damn.
Throw a rock at it.
Hell no. I'm like, yo, I'm going home. Okay, so that's the first two bodies. The two guys named Yuri in the group, right? Found their bodies. And so they then found the next three bodies. Those of Dyatlov, the guy, Igor Dyatlov, who's like the leader of the group. Zenadia, who's 24, and Rustem, 23. Based on their location and the footprints, it appears that they perished on the way back to the camp from the cedar tree where the first two bodies were found. So, let's break it down. The next three bodies they found, apparently they went to the location of where old dudes were missing their clothes, right? Mm-hmm. They tried to head back to the campsite, died on the way back.
Oh,
so that's how they break down. It says appears like the footprints appears that they perished on the way back to the camp from the cedar tree where they was like 6 feet up, tree shit was knocked down. So whatever killed those two, maybe they don't explain if they was found running back or whatever, but it's weird. Like two people died, and maybe they took their clothes or some shit, and then went back trying to go back to the camp or whatever, but died on the way back, maybe because they froze to death or something like that. Which one picture right here, this is definitely one of the dudes that's like he's definitely dead. But I think that was the one. One of the guys that was on his way back to the camp with the two females.
There were other people where they found fractures on their skulls.
Yeah.
What is the theory behind that?
All right, so like I was gonna get at too, like, because they talk about with the avalanche. They talk about the type of avalanche that it was. I think it's called like a slab. Basically, it's like when heavier snow is sitting top of the weaker snow, breaks off. They're saying like they probably got hit with the avalanche, and then when it sat on top of the body for so long, it may have like maybe just the impact may have like hit their head, or they say like some of their chest were like caved in maybe a little bit, or not a little bit. That chest like completely like got caved in. That was just like with the snow sitting on top of them. So say like if they wound up dying on their back, laying down, the snow avalanche happens. But that's my thing. Though, is like if they're saying the avalanche is what kills them, how would it be? Like, maybe it was the one that kills them. Maybe they got hit by an avalanche or some shit. That doesn't explain the motherfuckers about a tree to me. But I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But
yeah, they all died like all scattered out.
Scattered out. So it's like
they're running from something.
Like as with the avalanche knocked the clothes off the two dudes that was trying to climb up the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make any sense. The avalanche would be the main all be all. Maybe an avalanche did happen at that time during the snowstorm, but I don't think that's the general cause of what had them running for their fucking lives or something like that.
Because if it was an avalanche, they all die same place all one sweep.
Yeah, they just all got wiped out at once, yeah.
And then it'd be like, oh shit, avalanche.
And then I'd be like, okay, they all got found in the same spot, but now they're scattered. I'm like, okay, so avalanche took out some people, but not all of them. You think it'd be like you said, a whole sweep. So, but they were still talking about how like the avalanche would probably be laying on top of their bodies if they're laying on the back, and just snow just being compressed down on it, maybe it caved in their chest while they was already dead. That's one of the theories that they're trying to run. The main one with the whole avalanche theory.
That's possible.
Possibility.
And it probably happened after they died then.
Or the Yeti punched him in the fucking chest.
Or another theory,
Made their shoulders touch.
The UFO, after they abducted all of them, they just dropped them.
Why would they do?
That's how they drop cows after they abduct cows, right? They're done doing surgery, they drop the cows back on the farm. Like, fucked up.
From like 1,000 feet.
Yeah. Because that would explain no footprints of animals or Yetis or anything attacking them. Because all it was is their footprints. Let's say they're running from like an alien. Maybe like, when they're about to get abducted, they heard like the ringing noise.
Yeah.
So they're trying to escape. Because the ringing noise is like, they can't, it's uncomfortable. So then they end up being abducted. Aliens took them up to the spaceship, did whatever, and then just dropped them off randomly. Like, they all just scattered. That's why there's like one body where the dude head is like completely inside the snow, upside down.
I still haven't seen enough photos of that.
I was like, how did that happen?
He just dumped his ass and just kept it moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, so like they found 3 people: the Dyatlov, Zanadia, and Rustim. They found them on the way back to the camp after they was probably rolling with the 2 dudes. Says so the bodies got found on the way back, like trying to make an attempt to go back to the camp. While the circumstances were puzzling, it was clear the cause of death for the 5 individuals was hypothermia. And now, mind you, this is like the investigation that Russia had did and all that shit. So I says there was no apparent external damage or trauma to the bodies outside what would be expected by exposure to extreme cold temps. There were some minor burns and blood found around the mouths of a few
minor burns
of the bodies.
Here's another.
They found burns on some of the bodies, like their hands. Some of their hands were like burnt.
Yeah. Here's another weird thing about it. They found like radiation on their clothing, like high amounts of trace of radiation on their clothing. So how can you explain that?
So now this group right here, right now, like I said, like this is where the story doesn't make sense to me. Something had to happen because they talk about, okay, they left the camp in a single file formation in a formal fashion, whatever the fuck ever. They're going with each other, right? Then somehow
they separated.
So get separated. Now, group number 5, this is where they say like, okay, these 5 people that went to this cedar tree, then these 5 people wound up this all up down from hypothermia, right? That's the normal. That's just the normal part of all this shit you're hearing right now. The second group, whatever happened to them, is way worse. But something happened. I don't know. Maybe say like they're going through the storm. This is my brain's thinking right now, off the top of my head. It's like the whole group's going with each other, right? There might be an argument, like, no, like we need to go back to the camp. We need to do this, that, and the third. Other 5 are like, no, fuck that. We need to go this way. I know the way. Not like some groups like kind of get split. Like some like, oh, I'm going with this person. I'm going with them. I'm going with them. But y'all go their own way. Everybody gets killed though. One group dies of hypothermia, which they said like the 3 people that they found, like if I remember the story correctly, it might be like the 3 people going back to the camp. They found article of clothing that they were wearing matched to the 2 people that was by the trees who was in the underwear and shit. So they was probably like freezing to death too. Like just like, look, they're dead. They don't need the clothes anymore. We need to take the clothes, go back to the camp, try to wait for some help. But then they probably down the way back. Now this other group, this is the group that's like gets slaughtered. So whatever direction they went, whoever was like, hey guys, come with me, I know the way.
How'd they get slaughtered though?
Do you see shit like that? You're gonna find out like this is the one with like the missing eyes and missing tongue and shit.
Missing eyes?
Yeah, there's like one of the girls has some like both eyes missing. Tongue missing, yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
Okay, so it was an alien experiment.
Maybe it was a space Yeti. I'm still going with the Yeti shit though, for real. That's something chased them, man.
Yeti's too sloppy. Their feet is too big. They will leave big ass footprints.
But at the same time though,
But is a Yeti even real though?
Well, Yeti's the same thing as Bigfoot, but think of it as blonde, like white. Just thinking like that.
Yeah, it's white.
But my thing is a Wendigo. I think that's another word for it.
A Wendigo? That sounds like a crane. No. It said in the chat, I've been reading about, I've read there has been massive UFO activity in Russia. Like recently? Because I know in the stories, there are stories about them seeing a whole bunch of orbs in Russia.
I actually heard a conspiracy about that night. Eyewitnesses who like live near the mountain area, they said like there were orbs above the sky that night. Them kids got killed. So that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother. I'll go to that a little bit later. I think if I got that in my notes about.
Yeah, but if you look deeper into the story, they're saying the reason for the orbs is nearby they have a Soviet missile launch center,
It's like some kind of military.
which would explain them seeing orbs or lights in the sky.
Or maybe it would explain why the hell radiation might have been on that body too. That whole area might have been like a testing site, and it just
Right. They might have stumbled across Area 51 in Russia, and
got dropped.
they told the aliens to come pick them up and drop them out.
It's too cold. Aliens, get them. Because if we go after them, we ain't gonna make it. So
Right.
you got your technology, snatch them up.
Wrong place, wrong time.
For real, man. Okay, so all right, so that's the first 5 bodies they found, right? It would be 2 months before the other students were found. Jesus.
I would have said, fuck this case. I'm out.
I'm done.
I'm too cold.
And so this is when the real mystery would begin. All right.
Real mystery begin.
All right. So it's April 1959. The remaining students were discovered buried under the snow in a ravine 75 meters or roughly 250 feet deeper
Slow it down.
into the woods than the cedar trees where the others were discovered. The condition of the bodies of the 4 told a dramatically different story than simple hypothermia. 3 of the hikers had fatal injuries. Nikolai, 23, suffered a significant skull damage in the moments before his death.
He got dropped in the head. My bad, go ahead.
Ludmila, 20, and Semyon, 38, had major chest fractures that could have only have been caused by the immense force comparable to that of a car crash.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Dubinaya was missing her tongue, eyes, and parts of her lips, as well as facial tissue and a fragment of her skull bone.
So what was the cause of her death?
I don't know. They did to this day. They still have an answer for it.
I don't think it was hypothermia. Her eyes got popped out.
And that's why, like, the investigators right now, when they found these bodies after that, I guess recently they're coming out saying like, "Hey, yeah, we solved the mystery. Avalanche is the answer." That's what they have in the record book, saying like it's avalanche. But to this day, like, even though that's their answer of what causes death, they can't explain why were they missing their eyes or why the girl's missing her eyes, her tongue.
I thought the case was closed unsolved. They never solved the case.
I think recently they're just trying. It seems like they're trying to close up now. Like, hey guys, like, because recently it's been resurfacing again. So now it's like, I think back in 2018 or 2019, they're like, okay guys, this is the definitive answer. We've done investigation reporting. Boom. It was avalanche. The end. But
I don't buy it.
What's up with the chat?
In the chat, he says, eyes removed surgically or was it pulled out?
Yeah, they can't even tell. Let me see. Let me look at the picture.
Then Shell Shock says, one thing I read about the eyes was animals eating the eyes and tongue post-mortem. That makes sense too, because they did take a long time to find the body, so it does make sense for an animal to walk by and see a dead body and start chewing on the tongues and the eyes.
But you think that part of the body would be useless just as much as like everything else if it's all frozen?
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense though, because the body's been there for so long. I would fucking eat her eyes too.
Oh, it also says okay. So with Miss Dubenia, Aina, I think I pronounced her name. So also, it wasn't just her tongue was missing and her eyes were missing as well too, right? Her nose was broken and ribs were broken as well too.
She got beat up on a damn fucking UFO ship.
The Yeti smashed her head with a rock, man. They
whooped that ass up there because she was too feisty.
They ran towards the Yeti. Instead of running away from it, they went the other way. Okay, well, so they say like before was it they ran 250 feet further past the cedar tree. So whatever went down, I think it started at that tree. That's where it went down at. Because I think they was like the group that got found like just tore up and shit for a little bit further past it. The other group was like, fuck, we're going back to camp. The other group was like, no, fuck this, we're going the other way. The Yeti's like, left to right. Left. I'm going to have to do that one in deeper. And then
it started in the tent.
But okay, like the tent, and then what happened? I'm trying to figure out what happened at the tree though.
That's later.
But I'm saying after they got the tent, they went to the tree.
Yeah, they were trying to run from whatever was in the tent.
But then what? He just like fucking just made them split up after that.
Yeah, the alien or reptilian, whatever it was, that he showed up. He fucking materialized in the middle of the tent.
Oh my God.
It's like, hey guys,
boo,
want to see a dead body? And then like, fuck this shit. What the fuck is this? So they started running, and they're like, help
me.
You forgot your shoes. It's like, fuck that.
Yuri,
I'd rather die in the snow.
Yuri, you only have one shoe on. Oh, he's gone. Yuri just dipped.
And then he just disappears like Goku. Like,
okay.
Shell Shock says, wait, hold on. Shell Shock says, but one thing that explained why they built with carbon monoxide Is that build? Apparently, the camping stove malfunctioned and then exploded, which explains the burning and the panic.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna get to that part.
I didn't know that.
They do talk about a campfire explosion at the plant was probably where. That's all. I'm gonna read into the rest of it. I think I do have something about that where something blew up at the camp too, which is why there's like.
But it didn't blow up in the tent, so it doesn't explain them cutting out the tent from the inside.
But my thing is this too, though. Is like whatever blew up, whatever happened there, maybe that's what caused the avalanche. That's what I read about earlier too. There was an explosion in the camp. Maybe the shockwaves is what caused the avalanche to happen. We get stuck. All that shit got. That's why a lot of their shit was left behind because avalanche just wiped them all out. Maybe they all climbed out, survived or whatever, went their own way, and then it was just fucked. So.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing where they may have got the chemical burns or whatever it was in their hands and face and shit.
Look at them with their science talk. Go ahead.
Lastly, investigators found the body of Alexander, 24. He was the same location, but lacked any facial injuries like the others. It was hypothesized that the two groups died in distinctly different times. The second group was making use of clothing from others from the first group that died. So the two people that they found by the tree, dead, branches broke off 6 feet up or whatever.
So they took their clothes.
Took their clothes and probably like used it for warmth or whatever.
So this all happened in one day.
That's the most exciting night ever. This shit is fucking insane.
UFOs.
They work fast, man. They ain't playing. Says second led to investigators to believe that they took the clothing from the others post-mortem. Dubinai's foot was wrapped in a piece of Krishnikov.
What? That's still confusing.
Do whatever. Okay, so basically, it was wrapped in some kind of wool pants, right? And Zolo was found in Dubinai's.
What? Dumanize.
Dubinai. She's the one with the missing eyes and shit, the tongue.
Oh.
She's the one with all that missing
Her
shit.
name is Dumanize? Demonize?
Dubinanias.
Oh.
Dubinania. Fox fur coat and a hat. So she's like, Zolo took all her shit off of her too. Suggesting that he had taken them from her after she died. Just as she had taken also clothes from other people too as well. So basically, like, they would, one by one, they was dropping dead. They taking off clothes. That's why they found article clothes on some people. Like, if they were finding clothes that somebody else was wearing, that means that person may have died first. And I guess they was trying to use it as like, okay, this person died because this person has their clothes on.
Right.
And they trying to like just backtracking on that kind of way too. Like,
I would have took more than their clothes if that was me. I would have fucking ripped the arm off.
oh my God, man.
So you can eat it later,
Just chop off a butt cheek. Why you need all of that? Just make a butt
Who's
sandwich.
gonna eat an ass in the snow?
I would make a butt sandwich, man. Like, I'm not gonna be like no arm.
So you're gonna eat ass groceries in the ice snow.
But it's like, it'd be like a little meat patty. Like,
I'll take a nice arm, eat the bicep and shit.
man, you would starve if you take mine.
You're gonna eat somebody's asshole in the snow.
I ain't saying butthole. I mean like an ass cheek. Like, I'm not talking about. I'm even gonna eat balloon knot sandwich. I'm talking about just like butt cheek.
Okay, I'll save the butt cheek. I'll eat the bicep. I'll eat the leg too.
Well, when you run out of legs, don't be trying to get a piece of my butt sandwich.
No, you can have the butt.
No. They would be like, hey, that arm was kind of a little weak on the meat. Chris, let me get some of that butt. I'm like, nah.
Nope. I'll eat everything else.
Put some sriracha on it. Hook that butt sandwich up.
That's nasty. Wait, Tenendo says if it was UFOs, why leave the bodies there?
That's what I'm saying. They would have just dumped their ass into the sun.
How do you guys know what UFOs be doing though?
That would be some sloppy. I agree, Tenendo. That would be some sloppy shit if UFOs be like,
No.
just dump them.
If you guys even look at UFO stories on abductions, they abduct them and then they drop them off in every single UFO story.
But
They don't
like
keep the bodies.
That's the ones that survive, though. That's like
Yeah, but it's common for them to drop the bodies back off, especially that one UFO story with the blonde lady. She got abducted and then she was in the spacecraft and she saw all these little kids in there. And then whatever they did to her surgically, they were done with her. After they were done for the night, dropped her body right on the street.
But she was alive, though. We're talking about like.
Yeah, she's alive, but they got dropped in the snow. They can't
like-
survive in the snow.
Oh, so you're saying they got abducted alive?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like they got killed and shipped and dumped into the snow. We talking about like they took them up alive,
Right.
Dumped them back down in the same spot, but it was like a shitty spot to dump them in.
Yeah, they happen to be dumped in a place where you can't really survive.
No, or just dumped them in the same spot they was at before, because they was on record for going up there.
Yeah.
Because usually people get abducted, they end up back in the same spot, but it'd be like a time lapse of like
Yeah.
fucking like 3 days or some shit,
The aliens are like, okay, we're done with our little project. Drop the body back off.
We'll put them right back where we found them, and they're like, oh shit, it's a storm. They just dropped them into a fucking storm.
It's like, wait, they don't know how to survive in snow? What are they doing up here anyway? So they're thinking these humans are stupid. They're like, why would they come to a place they can't survive? Right? Because if you're like an intelligent being and you look at people playing in the snow, you're not even you're realizing, okay, their body, they can survive in the snow. That's why they're up there. Not even knowing that these guys are doing it for fun.
Hey.
Right? They're like, why would they risk their own lives? So that's their fault. We dropped them off where we found them. If they die, they die.
I mean, it's like kidnapping somebody and then dump them back out, dumping them on the same spot you kidnapped them from, and they get hit by a bus. like
Robert said he was on the ship. Tell us your story, Robert.
Let's hear it, Rob.
Do you really think they care what happens to our bodies after they're done with it? I don't think they care. They do like whatever project they're done, like whatever, like let's say they're taking the eggs from the females because maybe they want to reproduce a human, and they take like the sperm from a male. They're like, okay, we're done with these specimens, drop them off. It's just like humans doing studies on monkeys, right? They're done with the monkeys, whatever, put them back in the cage, or if they're dead, like, so whatever, they get a new monkey.
Yeah, but they take care of them. It's not like they go out of the way to kill them. But you're saying like
We're not aliens, Chris.
Are we?
We don't know.
Are we not aliens?
We're worse than aliens. We look at all the nasty, crazy shit they do to the animals just to study them for medicine.
Yeah.
Monkey jail, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Rat jail, maybe there's even a human jail. We just don't know it.
I'm still going with the Yeti. Fucked him up.
Yeah, we're not aliens.
I'm going with the Yeti, man. I'm sticking with that. The Yeti was like, oh, some kids.
Robert says they look like us and warn me about the other aliens that work with the elites. Yeah, there's a lot of aliens that I heard they look like us. They walk around just like us. And there's like bad ones that maybe the gray ones, they say the little gray ones are the bad ones. Don't say that in public though.
You just said it on like live.
But we're in the safety of this home. What are they gonna do? Kick the door down? Boom.
Bing bong. All right, let me get back to this, man. We got off topic. All right, so May 1959. All right, so here it is. Months later, an investigation was abruptly ended, and the cause of death was noted by the lead investigators as, quote, the cause of death was an unknown compelling force which, like the hikers, were unable to overcome.
See, this is what the lead investigator said.
Yeah, they're going to say that shit.
Like at the end of it, he was saying something happened that forces that, was it overcompelled?
What's that?
What did the lead investigator say at the end of the case because they can't solve it?
Oh, what was that bullshit excuse? Oh, it says the cause of death was an unknown compelling force which the hikers were unable to overcome. A Yeti.
I mean,
that is my answer.
It's not like it's not a bullshit excuse. It's because they just don't know.
It's like, look, whatever happened to them, they couldn't beat it, and that's real shit. So
that makes sense. Instead of them saying, "Oh, they all died from avalanche."
Yeah, recently they're saying the avalanche was like. But recently the avalanche has been like the main thing. That's like, okay, this is it. Back then, like I said, like dude's like, oh.
The family members of the hikers, they were saying that it's a cover up. It's a government cover up. Like the government knows something. They know something that happened there, and they're covering up the whole case.
I think the kids maybe just accidentally stumbled across some shit they weren't supposed to, maybe too, and they had to get shut up.
Yeah. Because this Arthur named Donnie Etcher, right? He's writing a book called Dead Mountain. This is back in like 2013. And he was able to find the hiker that got sick in the beginning.
Yeah.
He found the hiker that was the last person that saw all the hikers alive. So he calls him up and says, hey, I want to do an interview with you and find out more information about what happened.
Okay.
And he was like, if you want to find out more about, what happened, you got to fly out to Russia.
Okay.
So he flew out to Russia. And then this Arthur was able to get like thousands of photos of the shit that happened out there, like all the dead bodies, everything. He got a whole bunch of photos, and even Yuri, the guy that he was interviewing, he said that the government was involved with this. It wasn't like something that was naturally that happened. He said he know for sure the government had something like they had a hand in this incident that happened. And crazy thing is, after he interviewed him, 2 months later, the dude died.
I was about to ask you if he's still alive. Damn it.
No, he died like 2 months later.
You said too much.
Yep, now the book is out on Amazon.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Wait, did he die like recently? Like, was that like after he's old man and shit? This is like the old dude?
I'm pretty sure he died from old age, but the timing of him getting the interview, A little strange, but I mean, he had to go anyway.
Yeah, what if he was like, I finally got this weight off my chest. I can leave in peace. Then went to heaven.
Because they gave him like a whole bunch of thousands of photos, documents. They got the diaries of the missing hikers, everything. He's saying it was a government cover-up.
Yeah. So this next part I'm gonna go over is these are like the official theory. These are like the official theories of what happened at the Dyatlov Pass in 1959, right? All right. So number one was the Mansi tribe, right?
The Inuits.
The Inuits, but they call it the Mansi tribesmen. Early on, many Soviets suspected that the students' deaths were the result of an ambush by the local Mansi tribes. A sudden attack would account for the way the hikers fled their tents, the disarray, and the damage done to the second group of the bodies. But the explanation fizzled quickly. The Mansi people were largely peaceful, and evidence in the Dyatlov Pass didn't support the violent human conflict. For one, the damage done to the students' bodies exceeded the blunt force trauma one human could inflict on another. There was also no evidence of any footprints on the mound beyond those made by the hikers themselves. So,
But usually, like tribes like that, they're like peaceful.
they usually don't fuck with nobody. They just...
So it would be strange for them to even show up to somebody's camp. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Thank you.
Race
Yeah.
03.
Yeah, why would you put that target in your people's head if you're going to go after... You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you'd be like, yo, the military would just blow us up.
Yeah, I don't think the tribe was involved at all.
Yeah, so they immediately got like X'd off the list. Like, okay, ain't the Mansi tribe because it don't make no sense.
It doesn't-
They never been problematic before.
Right, 'cause
Why
they-
would it be now?
They have nothing to gain from it. Like what? They killed these guys, then what? They didn't even take their Jordans.
For real, they just left everything. They literally just left everything
They
there.
left their shoes. They didn't even take nothing.
No body pieces, no nothing. Well, the eyes and tongue maybe, but
It's like, oh yeah, don't forget those two eyes in that tongue.
I don't know.
like-
I'm just looking at it from all angles. But no, actually no, I don't think they had nothing to do with that shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was even looking at the pictures of them. I was like, they look like chill ass people. Like this, live off the land. They don't bother nobody.
Never judge a book by the cover, man.
I mean, there could be sociopaths and all that living out there, but
Yeah.
But I mean, they ain't fucking with the Russians. Like, let's put it like that. They just
Yeah. You're still in Russia. And Russia, they're known to do a lot of wild stuff.
and so they probably like, yo, we'll fuck with each. They probably just beat each other up out there. They ain't messing with no Russian citizens. Okay. Okay. So next thing, of course, was like avalanche. Investigators were the investigators then conceived of a swift, violent avalanche, the sound of snow collapsing, and early warning of a deluge to come.
At the lodge.
It says would have frightened, basically like the sound of avalanche, like, something like
They
that.
call it a
Just like-
delage.
I guess it means like, okay, like it just got loose. Snow got loose, just fell down. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. I might be wrong, but fuck it, I don't have time to look that word up. But it says would have frightened hikers out of their tents, out of their tents in a state of undress and sent them sprinting for the tree line. An avalanche would also have been powerful enough to inflict injuries that killed the second group of students. Despite the compelling avalanche theory, controversy raged. Would the experienced hikers have made camp in a spot that was vulnerable to an avalanche? Then, too, there was the fact that when investigators found the bodies, they noted no evidence that an avalanche had occurred any time recently in that region. There was no damage to the tree line, no search observers observed no debris. No avalanches have been recorded at that site before, nor have there ever been ever since. So this show, like, that area has never been hit. It's not known for having avalanches. There's never no damage that night showing trees getting knocked the fuck over.
I wish you would have told me that a long time ago.
That's why I was saving it for this. I was saving it for this.
Okay, so avalanche never even happened. So
This shit has never happened in the area. It's never happened before. 2020 has not happened. 2021 still has not happened.
I was watching a video on this case, right? And then it was like maybe a couple years ago. And they had a guy investigating the case because I guess the case was still open. And then they had him like cutting like, the snow just to do a demonstration of
to show like
avalanche.
how it moves, yeah.
Why were they wasting the time with all that when they already know that no avalanche happened?
It's a cover-up. They want us to believe this shit.
This shit happened like, what, 50 years ago?
62 years ago now.
60 years? Why? Leave it. If they cover it for that long, keep it covered.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter what kind of conspiracy that comes out of this, because it's like,
We're never
we're
gonna
never
know.
going to know. But that's the shit that he was like the latest video I looked up yesterday is like you see these videos like, okay guys, with the Dyatlov Pass, they did like a scientific video like 15 minutes long showing like this what would happen, da 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 da. But then you got evidence like investigators saying differently, like, no, this shit's never been no avalanche area. You think these hikers would if you are an expert hiker and you was going up to an area, you would know if it's an avalanche zone or not. I would assume if you're experts. And if so, why would you put yourself in that danger to be hit by avalanche? So, but like I said, ain't no evidence in the avalanche area. It doesn't happen in the area. But that's the shit they trying to push is like the main cause of like, all this shit. Okay, so another theory is like hypothermia, or like I was mentioning before, is actually it's called paradoxical undressing. Has been put forth, but does not account for leaving the warm tent. As it usually rears its head in the stages of hypothermia. So they're saying like another theory was like these people died because the hypothermia had settled in and they stripped the clothes off and it just sped up their rate of dying. But it doesn't make sense why the hell they would leave the tent though. You think being in the tent, wrapped up,
I thought they're pros, right?
keep their bodies close together, because you get that body heat, keep them all close together. That at least helped, at least for overnight purposes,
Yeah.
But so that's the thing, like, okay, hypothermia, maybe it did kill some of them running out there like that, but that can't just be like the main thing that was like what got them out that tent, because it does the opposite of what they were trying to do if you were in a tent. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a normal reason why they would get out the tent. They were young kids, right? 21, they're 39.
They know this one's
34,
38.
36. Yeah, so they were young. They're like our age and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what I think might happen.
Uh-oh.
They were playing a drinking game in the tent.
Oh, they got fucked up.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, if you guys lose, you guys got to go outside with no shoes on.
Butt naked. Butt
Butt
nilsy.
naked.
Butt nilsy.
No shoes on, so they started walking. But little did they know, Bigfoot was on the other side.
Bigfoot's like, whoa, whoa.
And then that's when they fucked up. They're like, oh, shit.
Bigfoot's like, oh, looking at the tent. He's like, oh, they're coming.
That's when they like canceled the drinking game.
But drinking out there too, that would be like that like thins your blood too. So that's a horrible time to want to drink in the fucking snow.
So they were doing dares and stuff. And it just, they got punished.
Yuri, I dare you run out there, butt ass naked, one shoe on. Like a stupid dare. That's a stupid ass dare, Run to that tree line.
Might have happened.
Went to that tree line, come back.
Never came back.
Never came back. So like three people like, let's go check on him. They go back to tent. Oh shit! Like he's not there. Oh, dead.
It's too cold.
Open up.
It's too cold. Who idea was this?
Yeah, I mean, okay. That'd be stupid as fuck too. That was like I did a drink that night. That was horrible.
I don't know. Russians, they do hardcore shit.
For real. Fight bears. Fight bears for fun. Okay, so here's another one. So this is another theory you have is a katabatic wind. All right. So katabatic wind is a technical name for a drainage wind, a wind that carries high density air from a higher elevation down a slope under the force of gravity.
And it made a sound, right? That scared them.
That's what I think they're gonna probably say too, like the wind, because they say like the avalanche may have been like a noise that made them run, but it might be wind coming down like woo, like just probably sound like a fucking train coming maybe. Cause I think about like, cause even when I remember like living in Colorado, just like living like being near a mountainside and it's windy, that wind coming down that mountain is like, you're like oh, shit, like okay.
Sounds like a bunch of Indians screaming, huh?
Sure.
You ever heard that one instrument when you blow in it? It sounds like fucking death.
Oh.
Yeah, the Indians, they used to blow it against people they were fighting, and it
Scared the fuck out of them.
sounds like you're about to die. Like, it sounds like a demon screaming. Like, it sounds like bloody murder. That's
I'm gonna look that up, man. That sounds dope.
Yeah, watch how it sounds like. Look it up on YouTube. Look up, I don't know, a flute of death.
Demon flute.
Yeah, some type of flute that when you blow it, it sounds like fucking, like you're some dead shit.
Okay. Says such winds are sometimes also called fall winds. The katabatic winds can rush down elevated slopes at hurricane speeds, but most are not as intense as that, and many as 10 knots or 18 kilometers per hour or less. Katabatic winds are most commonly found blowing out from the large and elevated ice sheets of Antarctic and Greenland. The buildup of high density, cold air over the ice sheets, and the elevation of the ice sheets brings it into play of enormous gravitational force, where these winds are concentrated into a restricted area in the coastal valleys. Winds blowing, hurricane winds blowing, the winds blow well over hurricane force, reaching 300 kilometers per hour or 190 miles per hour. In Greenland, these winds are called Petit Rock and are most intense whenever low pressure areas approaches the coast. So basically, like fucking wind coming down the hill, boom, going fast as shit. They're saying like the katabatic winds don't reach that fast. It's rare if it does, but it could be a possibility that they got hit with a fucking full force of wind and it's just wiped them all out too. Still don't make any sense to me because
That probably would have killed them like after the drinking game. And
are we still on the drinking game shit?
no, like they left and then like oops, and then let's say the wind blew down and then they got fucked up.
I guess I don't know. The wind thing was never somebody even. I mean, I don't know about no expert on winds about that being that powerful hitting people, but
So we just don't know.
all right. So
I
the other
can't
one,
figure it out.
so the other one, which is what Shell Shock mentioned before, if I could get to this point, was the fire. Okay, in one of the photos, which is the one, actually, okay, this is it. So in one of the photos, it shows that one looks like a makeshift metal exhaust pipe out of one of the tents. They use metal stoves for heat and cooking. Bits of cooked food were found in the vacated tents. It's possible that either the exhaust was leaking or was disassembled while coals were not fully extinguished. It says, imagine the panic of a coal reigniting and exhausted into the tent while asleep. Waking up in panic, cutting your way out. It could also explain the burns from the it also could explain the burns from frantically trying to move or do something with a hot stove, as well as the blood around the mouth from smoke inhalation, which you'd be coughing up blood and shit. So that kind of makes sense.
But it was only like one guy where they found that on, where his mouth had blood on it.
Yeah, he might have he might breathe in. He might just breathe in a shit ton trying to put it out.
But it wasn't found on any other bodies, was it?
Not that I know of. But how does it explain like missing eyeballs and shit? So it's like a lot of shit's like, what? Why is eyeballs missing? But Shell Shock said, maybe some animal came along, like snacked on them and shit.
Or an alien first day, like inspecting a human body, and then he accidentally take the eyes out. They're like, no, we're not supposed to do that. We're just supposed to take your eggs, not her eyes.
Doing
Like, oops, my first day on Earth.
being suspended, man.
Shell Shock says it's called the death whistle. Yes.
That's what's Shell Shock. You're a genius, man. You be knowing a lot of shit that.
The death whistle. It sounds like. You're gonna die.
Is that the? They're talking about the
When you blow the whistle?
death whistle. I'm gonna look that shit up because it sounds
It's
scary.
scary, dude.
I'm gonna drive home and play it like through my speakers.
It's like it sounds like a bunch of people dying from murder.
Well, actually, I'm gonna wait till I get home. Before I listen to that, okay. So, anyways, explains why like some people had like blood coming out their mouth or whatever from the smoke inhalation. They got out with a destroyed tent. They calmly went to where they thought it could get shelter, the tree line. There, they attempted to make a makeshift camp. Only issue: why did they not dress appropriately for this option? So there's that, and then
They were chased out by something.
the very last. Okay, two more left. I got two more left. All right. So the other one, which I've been riding with from day one, Russian Yeti or the mink. With humans officially ruled out as the culprits, some began to postulate that it could be non-human assailants. People began to whisper that the hikers were killed by a mink, a Russian Yeti, to account for the immense force and power necessary to cause injuries to 3 of the students. The theory is popular among those who focus on the damage of Dabiana's face. While most explain her missing tongue while most explain her missing tissue from poisoning a visit from small scavengers, or perhaps decay resulting from her partial submersion in a watery underwater stream. Because they found them like in a stream, I think, too. Some shit. Main proponents see this is more sinister predator at work. They even ran on the Discovery Channel, they ran a documentary 2014 called The Russian Yeti, The Killer Lives, and they claimed that the final pictures found on the group's camera looked like a Russian Yeti, which could have been stalking the hikers and led to their deaths.
That's crazy. So the Yeti.
Because remember that picture I showed you? It was like, was that something the printer did? I'm like, no, like whatever was going on, that was the last picture taken from that camera. And it looks like it's all like motioning's happening, running, but you can see like a light or something like that or whatever. But
Okay, so if the Yeti killed them, right?
yeah,
the Yeti wasn't killing them for food because obviously he didn't eat the bodies.
Yeah, he just maybe dies.
So the Yeti is just a killing machine.
Just bored.
They're just mean.
Some things like maybe just like oh, it could be just think like most animals are territorial. Maybe it's like, hey, you crossing my territory, I'll kill you. It got nothing to do with food or anything.
So they're in his spot.
You just happen to stumble across my shit, and you should have stayed out of it. Bang bang.
It
boom.
might have been a Yeti.
Bang bang boom.
A Yeti killed them, guys.
Smashed them up. So that was one of the main ones, and then also the last one that we've been talking about since damn near all this started. Military cover up. All right, so this is the last big theory, which I think this is probably after Yeti. This is one I'm kind of with too. This military cover up. Small amounts of radiation were detected on the bodies. This led to wild theories that the students had been killed by some sort of secret radioactive weapon. Those who favor this idea stress the strange appearances of the bodies at their funerals. The corpses had slightly orange and withered cast, but had radiation been the cause of death, more than modest levels would have registered. When the bodies were examined, the corpse's orange hue isn't surprising given the frigid conditions in which they lay. They were partially mummified in the cold, so yeah, that could be another thing. Once the secret military weapon got proposed, it was too sexy of a concept to just let die. Some say the team was unfortunate enough to stumble across a USSR testing a concussive weapon, perhaps a parachute, a mine exercise. This explanation is popular because it partially supported by the testimony of another hiking group, one camping 50 kilometers or 30 miles roughly from the Dyatlov Pass team on the same night. The other group spoke of orange orbs floating in the sky around Kyolat Sayako, and cited proponents of the theory to interpret distant explosions. The hypothesis goes that the sound of the concussions drove the hikers from their tents in a panic. Half clothed, the first group died of hypothermia while attempting to take shelter from the blast, waiting near the tree line. The second group, having the first group freeze, determined to go back to their belongings, but fell victim to hypothermia too. While the third group got caught in a fresh blast further into the forest and died from their injuries. Lev Ivanov, the chief investigator of the Dyatlov Pass incident, said, "I suspected at the time, and I am almost sure now that these bright flying spheres had a direct connection to the group's death." When he interviewed with the small Kazakhstan newspaper in 1990. So basically, like the USSR basically tried to censorship and secrecy in the USSR forced them to abandon this line of inquiry. In the end, Hiker's death was officially attributed to compelling natural forces, and the case was closed. It wasn't until February 19, Russian officials reopened the case back for new investigation. This time, however, the officials considered the three theories: an avalanche, a snow slab, or hurricane force winds. It says with the pass basically lost to hikers. The hikers was was named the pass was named after Dyatlov, in honor to his group and whatnot. They still got the little memorial there and whatnot, but yeah, there's no definitive way. That one with the military shit sounded pretty legit to me too, though.
Yeah,
just like they ran for their life.
That's the more logical one. It makes sense though. Hill in the chat says orange orbs, parachute flares. He said sounds military.
Yeah,
I think the military was involved because the dude Yuri, the guy that was supposed to be hiking with them, he even said it was government cover up. The families said it was government cover up. So they live there. They know.
Yeah, they would know.
So I would take their word over whatever the hell anybody else will say.
Yeah.
They know the area. They know how dirty their government is. So if they said the government were involved and they did something and they were trying to cover it up, I think they're responsible.
Not to mention, too, if you think of the time frame, this is 1959. This was during the Cold War. So this is when,
the peak of the Cold War.
Yeah, people were flexing and shit. I got these weapons. Maybe it was a testing site they came across. Maybe they got killed for finding out too much, or they stumbled across something. They went to a restricted area they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, this was the height of with technology too. Everybody getting technology we never even seen or heard before.
The fucking Twilight Zone shit coming out.
Yeah.
Was it predictive programming? That was an error.
So when they saw the people there, oh shit, these might be U.S. spies. Killed them.
We ain't got time to find out who they are. Get them.
Release the Yeti. It's like, no, not the Yeti. He's not ready.
He's not ready.
Just do it.
We haven't put the chip in his head yet. Just let it go.
Do it, Egon. That's a Russian name,
Was
right?
it this? What, Igor maybe?
Helga. Helga.
Helga?
What's another one?
I don't know.
German names are funny too, man. They're so cool.
Vasil.
Vasil.
Vasil. That's Russian, I think.
Yeah, Vasily
Vasily.
Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko. Everything is Chenko.
Chenko.
Shell shock. All the theory sounds good, like the stove and stuff, but everything screams cover up. I'm leaning towards the cover up.
Yeah. That's why I'm leaning on that too. The stove shit, it makes sense.
But it's too.
But the eyeballs, man, and shit, it don't make no sense.
Yeti, like, put the eyeballs back. Too late. I ate it.
Yeti, what's eyeballs? Are balls? Which is like he's already chewing. He's already chomping down on them.
A tongue sticking out his mouth. 2 tongues.
Lock him back up, man.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back. Hey, thanks for the bit, Olivia. Thanks for the 100 bits.
Thank you, Olivia.
We're going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do my story about Russian cannibals. So we're going to stay in the country of Russia.
We're not leaving yet, people.
Be right back, guys. All right, so next story. This is about a Hannibal couple. Oh, this is the headline in Time Magazine 2017. The headline reads, Cannibal couple may have eaten 30 people.
I can't believe that. I watch a lot of crazy shit on YouTube, man. People don't surprise me anymore.
And then the Russian headline was, selfies with human remains, which is pretty wild, too.
They were taking selfies with the human body parts?
Yes. So this all happened in Russia.
Okay. Let's get it.
So the story started out with a group of construction workers coming across a cell phone. They said, hey, Chris, you see that cell phone? Go pick it up.
I got it.
He picks up the phone, right? No password on it. Picks it up. And then all the workers like, yeah, look at the pictures. There might be some nasty pictures.
Boobies.
Yeah. So they took a break. They look at the phone pictures. They're like, holy shit. What the hell is all this? They saw pictures of a man taking selfies with dead bodies and dead body parts. Like an arm or something over his, like him showing off these dead bodies.
Yeah.
So immediately they said, oh shit, we gotta fucking just give this to the police officers. So they gave the phone to the police officer, and then they found out that the phone belonged to a man named Dmitry, because they found the SIM card.
Okay.
So the man was named Dmitry, so they end up finding his address. They went to his house, and they said, hey, can you explain these photos? Dmitry was like, oh, yeah. This one time I went into the woods, right? I found a dead body, and I thought it was cool to bring the dead body home. So the cops was like, why would you? That doesn't make no sense.
That's a stupid ass excuse. I'd be like, yo, that's like it wasn't real. It's like art project I was doing for something. Like, anything to bring you brought a dead body home.
It's like, yeah, Dmitry. I just saw the dead body in the woods, and then I just brought it home, took pictures with it. And then they asked the wife, like, do you know anything about this? The wife was like, I don't know shit about that. So they're like, okay. So then the officers, they got like that shit you have to go get before you search the house.
Warrant.
Yeah, they got a warrant to search the house. When they were searching the house, they found a whole bunch of more cell phones.
Yeah.
And they found body parts like in jars and stuff. All this weird stuff started coming out. And then they're like, okay, let's look at all these other cell phones. And they found a whole bunch of pictures of them just taking pictures of a whole bunch of dead bodies. They're like, holy shit, are you guys eating people out here? Crazy, right?
Making meatloaf out of these people, man.
Mm-hmm. And they said like the house was like super filthy and dirty. Like it was just nasty. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like a place where people do cut up people and eat them.
Like a butcher shop or some shit.
Because the way they were cutting up these bodies, it's like they were saving it for later. Almost like,
leftovers.
Like a meat shop.
Like leftovers and shit.
Yeah, they were cutting it to where they were going to eat it later. Because they also found like a picture, like it looked like a Christmas photo, where it's like a table filled with food.
Oh, hell no.
And then they use like the head like as like a centerpiece for the Christmas or something.
Got an apple in the mouth or some shit.
Yeah, they had like an apple or like an
God.
orange. They had like an orange in the mouth and stuff. They're like, what the fuck kind of shit?
Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but they do have the pictures online if you look it up. Just look up
Reddit.
look up Russian cannibals that ate at least 30 people.
I'll look it up. I'll find that shit.
And then even like the wife, she was actually crazy too. She used to be normal. She used to be like a nurse, but then her husband made her crazy. So then they both started just eating people. And they found a video at the house.
Oh.
And the video was actually them making like it's like a cooking lesson on how to cook humans.
Cooking for cannibals.
Yeah, cooking for cannibals.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was actually like
Oh my
a
God.
cooking for cannibals tutorial on how to cook human meat.
Tell you people crazy, man. This shit don't even surprise me.
Yeah.
People are nuts.
But yeah, she actually went to like before everybody found out like what they were doing, she was actually trying to get a job at a bakery, and she said she can provide her own like meat and stuff. But then the bakery people, they thought that was kind of weird. They're like, no, we can get all the meat and whatever and stuff. Like, you don't have to worry about that, She's like, no, man, I got the good meat. But I don't know. Maybe they did allow her to use her own meat, and everybody was just eating people. Would be kind of disgusting.
Ain't the first time I heard a story similar to this before. It was a guy in Canada. He I can't remember his name, but he killed like 48 women. But they call him I think they call him like the pig killer. But he would kill his victims and like chop them up and give some of the body pieces to his pigs. And then some other body pieces, he would put them like in a meat grinder. He would repackage it and he would sell that shit.
Damn.
True story. This dude was nuts. Sounds like that. That's what it reminds me of.
Imagine like the food that we eat at restaurants. Like we have no idea. It could be like some human remains.
I don't even want to know.
I know, right?
That's better. That's even like some people are like, man, what if you just ate a rat burger? I'm like, my brain is this cow burger, so I don't want to know anymore.
I mean, all the processed food is shit that we don't even know anyway.
You gotta think about like at a slaughterhouse, how much shit accidentally falls into like a meat grinder, like a rodent or something like that, and just ground in with the fucking.
Yeah, it might not even be meat, like chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That's not even chicken.
I don't want to know.
Who knows what that is?
That's the only thing I eat. That's literally the only thing I eat from. It's literally the only thing I eat from fucking McDonald's. That and a fillet of fish. That's it. I don't eat nothing else.
Good. All right, so towards the end, right, the latest remains they found was from a waitress that they met. And here's the fucked up part. Like, they actually met the waitress through a dating site.
Oh.
And the waitress thought she was going on a date with the dude or whatever. Little did she know that she stumbled across a crazy couple that was going to kill her and eat her up. So their last victim was a waitress. Ate her ass up.
Hey, man.
I think they tortured her too, man, because I think they get off on shit like that.
If you're gonna kill somebody, just do it, man. You don't drag that shit out. People are crazy, man.
I don't think they ever released their cooking tutorial on the dark web. Maybe they did release it.
Maybe they just found like the unreleased on VHS. Well, I can see Russia still. You said that's 2017. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Russia. They probably still got the big ass camcorders from the 90s and shit, and like the VHS tapes you put in inside.
No, they had camera phones.
Okay.
Because they were taking pictures with the camera phones and stuff.
Oh, so they was recording with the camera phone too, then?
Most likely.
Oh, okay.
Because it did have SIM cards and stuff, so they were able to track the dude back to his house.
Why did he dump the phone? Did you ever find out why? Just like
it probably just fell out of his pocket.
At a construction site?
Yeah, at a construction site, and then the construction worker just picked it up and said, "Hey, nude pictures. Nope, dead people."
Yeah, because he had a SIM card in it and everything. I'm like, what the hell? Did you want to get caught?
Shell Shock says, "Delicious long pig." Hill says, there was a story out in Germany a few years back where a guy advertised on their version of Craigslist asking for someone to eat, and people responded volunteering.
Yeah.
He drew up legal forms and stuff. He got busted.
Yeah.
So he made a post about if he can eat somebody.
He's like, yeah, I'll eat you. I'll give you X amount of money if, That's like what I think you told the story before. Where like,
yeah, on the dark web.
The guy was like supposedly like paying people to eat pieces of him.
Yeah, on the dark web, this dude actually, he made a post asking people, hey, can somebody eat me alive? And somebody said, oh yeah, I can eat you alive. How much do you want to pay?
And I get paid? Free meal? I get paid to eat. Okay.
Yeah. So the dude took a whole bunch of pills. He got all numb, right? Then he was watching the dude fucking chop his dick up because he asked him to cut.
Whoa.
He asked him to cut his cock off first, and then eat it in front of him and ask him how it tastes. And he was like, it's kind of chewy.
It's a bit stringy, but
And then dude was like, oh, put it in my mouth. Let me see. It's like, oh, it is chewy. It's like, man, go cook it. But then the dude ended up just killing him because he said, fuck it. And then the video, it got released, and that's how, like, the cops were able to find the guy, and then the guy is, like, in prison for, like, 20-something years. But he was like, but he consent me to eat him.
he said it was cool.
He paid me to eat him. Like, I didn't just eat a person.
But it's still murder.
Yeah, that's so nasty.
That's why, man. Do you know there's some days where I think the aliens have actually never visited this planet?
Because we're stupid.
Yes, like they've never touched foot on this shit ever.
No, they have.
They've observed it from a distance, like, oh, okay, we see how these motherfuckers get down, and then that's why some days I'm like, there's no way aliens have ever came here. I don't even want to be here. What's up?
Shell socks. Yeah, it's the second time I heard Billy tell a story. It's a cool story.
About people getting mutilated
Imagine telling somebody that story in public.
on the subway.
Yeah.
Just just a random person.
Who are you, man?
What's your name again? Hello, 911.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah, I watch murder shit like this all the time, man. It ain't nothing new to me.
The dark web is a crazy place because they do have this shit called like the red room where you can actually go watch people get like murdered. And then like the chat, right? They would all vote on how they want the person to get murdered. Like, oh, I want her to die by strangulation, or I want her to die from suffocation, or well, that's the same thing, or or I want her to die from getting her head chopped off.
Yeah, I mean, people got weird ass ways. It's.
Because I played this game on Steam, right? I don't even know how it's even on Steam. But
God.
It's a game about you going on the dark web. So I'm in the game, right? And then I'm going on the computer. Immediately, I'm on the dark web, and I'm going through some sites and shit. Like, this is like shit you actually see on the dark web. I mean, I've never been there, but it's the shit that you will see, like the feet fetish section, or the grandma section where the grandmas are, out for little boys and shit.
What?
And then I came across a section, it was like called Red Room or something, where once I clicked that link, right?
Yeah, I heard about that shit.
It brought me up to a page where a girl she was all scared, panicking, screaming. She was in a dark room. And then people, you could see the chat and said, oh, I want you to rape her live. I was like, holy shit, like this is a game on Steam. And then another comment says, oh, I want you to have sex with her before you cut her head off. It's like, fuck that slut. And there's a whole bunch of comments. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then the camera cuts off. And then that's when like the lights like in the room started flickering, like in the game. And I was like, oh shit, somebody's watching me. So I had to go investigate, see like who's watching me. I was trying to figure out, because somebody was watching me from the computer. Like they end up cracking the computer on the game. And then, I saw like the hackers giving me a message saying, blah, 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 we got you. You got to do like something for us now.
What the fuck?
It's a weird game.
Is this?
It's a weird game.
What kind of game is this, man?
Yeah, it's.
That sounds like you ever heard of this movie? It's fucking and anybody can watch. I don't know. Last time I saw this movie was on YouTube, but it's called like the Siberian Film. That's about that whole movie is about some dark web shit where, dude, I don't even want to explain it. It's like one of the most banned movies on the planet, but it's on YouTube.
I remember. It's a nasty story.
Yeah, I'm not told you about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat it again. But yeah, it reminds me of that when you just tell me about like the Red Room. I'm like, people's like, hey, do this and this and this. I'm like, okay. Dude, there's just wild shit in that movie. That movie is like, most movies don't usually bother me, but that was the one that was like the most disturbing ones I've ever watched.
That's why if you ever go traveling to another country you don't know, make sure you travel with somebody, because usually the people that get kidnapped is people that travel alone.
Like, I'm backpacking through Europe. Like, why are you going solo? Like,
right. You're backpacking through Europe. Now you're on a Europe channel on the dark web.
What makes you think you trust Europe? Would you do that in America? Why would you do that anywhere by yourself?
They get scooped up so fast, dude.
I have some friends like that and they're females who like, I just want to travel around the world, but go solo. I'm like, why would you put yourself in that position?
Right.
Like, you got a friend? Bring a friend with you. Like,
Bring 2 guns.
Because this world is fucking crazy, and you got people who are waiting. There's some people who probably never even killed anybody in their entire life, but when they see the opportunity, some kind of crazy ass urge kicks in. They're like, "You're my first victim."
Kill mode.
Kill mode. Like I've always like, she by herself, ain't nobody with her. Oh, I feel this urge has been inside of me since I was like 15. I'm gonna just go all ape shit now.
They hear that Kill Bill song.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Dun-dun, dun-dun. Pulls the sword out.
Oh, I think.
That's wow.
Yeah, man, y'all be careful out there, man.
Yeah, even guys, man. You guys, you think they don't like guys too? They'll kidnap guys so easy.
Yeah, there's a story of a guy. I can't remember. He's from Atlanta. He moved out to LA to try to find like that Hollywood life. I think he's trying to be like a model or some shit. But like somebody caught his ass with a fucking flat on the side of the road, right? And then the eyewitnesses saw that he walked down the road to like a nearby gas station. Somebody picked him up in a vehicle. I guess somebody like overheard like, hey, yeah, he got into the car with somebody that I guess was gonna take him back to his car to help him with his flat tire. He was never seen again. They found his body sometime later in the woods. All his shit inside of him was missing. All them organs.
Oh damn!
And he was like a fit dude too, trying to be a model. So he's like probably healthy as fuck. And then they caught him somebody caught him with a flat, and then they found his body like all the good shit inside of him was missing.
Ooh, the organ market.
They emptied him. I'm like, yo, y'all be careful out there, man. I mean, they ain't gonna take nothing from me, man. I done destroyed my body with so much fun stuff.
Yeah, so stop working out, guys. Don't be going out there showing your muscles, because if you look healthy, they're gonna scoop your ass up.
Take them muscles with them.
They're like, I bet he got a good liver. I bet that heart beating good.
Hey, like look at that kidney. My kidney's done.
Hey, Jeff Bezos he wants a new heart. He wants a strong heart.
Let's get it. We gonna get him a couple hearts just in case one don't work. You got some backup hearts.
Mm-hmm. His kidney looks pretty good. It's like, hey, do you drink, buddy? No, I don't drink. Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's
horse tranquilizer.
check. Dead. Oh, Shell Shock says he gotta send you a message about a story about him getting kidnapped in Germany.
What the hell, man? You need to stay home.
Almost getting kidnapped.
Almost, okay.
Shell Shock. That's a name that you would want to kidnap.
I ain't gonna say his real government name on this.
That's all I got for this story, though.
Yeah,
I think we're good on time. Yeah, we're way good.
We're super duper good.
Hell yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people talking in the chat.
Yes, thanks for the show. Pretty good. That's a nice, good show. I appreciate it, guys.
Good shit, guys. Thank you guys again for joining us
Hell yeah.
for this episode. It was fun.
As always.
Oh yeah, don't forget to rate and subscribe this podcast. If you made it this far, you might as well do it.
You might as well. You might as well do it.
You wasted 2 hours. Not wasted. You learned something.
Learn some shit.
All right, guys. So peace out. Adios. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, see you guys.